Hey, how's it going everyone, and welcome to another episode of Weekly Code Quickies, your weekly updates for tech news, coding tricks and tips, and more. As always, I'm your host, Norbert PM, and in today's episode we'll be talking about the potential future of web development and coding in the browser instead of using a traditional IDE. So just like CodePen and most recently released Visual Studio Code.dev, on which I did do an episode a couple of episodes back, the newest StackBlitz is the IDE that runs in the browser and, in their own words, is the fastest, most secure dev environment on the planet, in which you can create, edit, and deploy full stack apps with faster package installation and greater security than even local environment. And actually, I'm planning on doing a full crash course on StackBlitz on my other YouTube channel, Norbert BM Web Development, so definitely stay subscribed to the other channel in order to get notified when I'm posting that video. But before we get into the video, as always, liking and sharing our content really helps us out a lot and also helps others by spreading the word. And if you enjoy the content and you wish to get notified whenever we post new content like this, then please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell in order to get notified whenever there's new content. So with this being said, let's jump into the episode. Okay, quick rundown on the show notes. We're going to first of all talk about what are web containers, then running Node.js in the browser, what is a IDE, what is StackBlitz, what kind of code we can actually write in StackBlitz, what are the front-end frameworks and libraries that you can run in StackBlitz, and what kind of backend can you run in StackBlitz. So first things first, what is a web container? A web container, aka serverlet container, is a component of a web server that integrates with Jakarta Serverlets. And Jakarta Serverlets is a Java software component that extends the capabilities of a server. A web component is responsible for managing the lifecycle of a servlet, mapping the URL to a particular servlet, and ensuring that the URL request has the correct access rights. A web container handles the requests to servlet, so Jakarta Server Packages, JSP files, and other types of files that include server-side code. The web container creates servlet instances, loads and unloads servlets, creates and manages requests and response objects, and performs other servlet management tasks. So web container specifies runtime environments for other web components, including security, concurrency, lifecycle management, transaction, deployment, and other services. So how about running Node.js natively in the browser? The Node.js runtime itself is running natively inside the browser. Now these environments are not running on a remote server. Instead, each environment is completely contained within your web browser. Legacy online IDEs run your entire dev environment on a remote server and stream the results back across the internet to your browser. The problem with this approach is that it yields few security benefits and provides a worse experience than your local machine in nearly every way. It takes minutes to spin up containers, is prone to network latency, cannot work offline, often results in network timeouts, debugging freezes or is broken, containers are nearly impossible, and hitting refresh just reconnects to a broken container again. Okay, so what is a IDE? An integrated development environment, aka IDE, is a software application that provides comprehensive facilities to computer programmers for software development. A IDE normally consists of at least a source code editor, build automation tools, and debuggers, of course. Some IDEs such as NetBeans and Eclipse contain the necessary compilers, interpreters, or both, but others such as Sharp Developer and Lazarus do not. Okay, now enter StackBlitz. As I said at the beginning of the episode, StackBlitz is an IDE that runs in the browser, just like the newly released Visual Studio Code and also the older CodePen, but with the difference that it also runs Node.js in the browser, which is pretty cool. It basically promises to have the same editing experience as if you would use the usual Visual Studio Code instead of application itself, which honestly until now nobody really managed to create such an IDE in the browser. In my honest opinion, VS Code.dev really sucks. You are so limited in creating anything, but it also looks a bit like Visual Studio Code and it feels like the real application. Now, what exactly does it make it feel like a real IDE, like a web application? Like an application in your computer? Well, according to the website, it has IntelliSense, and they should work just like in Visual Studio Code. It has npm. You can import any npm package manager into your project. You can import existing files and folder by just dragging and dropping files and folder into your editor, making copying and pasting or uploading or committing to GitHub just redundant. It also has hot reloading. As you know, we have in Visual Studio Code live server, and if you set it to autosave whenever you type something, so autosave on type, not on save, then live server will refresh the browser constantly. It will have the typewriter effect. So whenever you type something, it will automatically appear in your browser. Now keep editing while offline. This should be a major thing. Even if you're offline, you can still edit. And of course, hosts app URLs. Okay, so what kind of code can we actually write within StackBlitz? First of all, we can create bare-bones starters with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then a blank JavaScript project or a blank TypeScript project. Now, what kind of frameworks or libraries can we use? Well, for frameworks and libraries, they have the following. They have Angular with TypeScript, React with JavaScript, React with TypeScript, Vue 3 with JavaScript, Svelte with JavaScript, React.js with TypeScript, Ionic with TypeScript, and of course, Angular.js, which includes JavaScript. So that's it for front-end. Now in the back-end, they are still in beta, but the future is promising. Currently in beta, they have Next.js with Node.js, Nuxt with Node.js, GraphQL, of course, Node.js, and Node.js with Node.js, of course. But they are promising to have Python in the future, which makes it really interesting. Okay, so as mentioned at the start of this episode, I'm going to create a complete crash course and go through each and every one of these. Should be an extremely interesting episode, so stay tuned to my other channel, Norbert BM Web Development, where I'm actually doing web development, creating videos and projects for you. Okay, so are IDEs in the browser the future of web development? Only time will tell. But until that time comes, my name is Norbert BM, and I thank you for your attention. And on this note, catch you next time. Bye-bye.